Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Yay! Our house guests of the day are Emily Jane and FL Nana. Is it Florida Nana? Thank you both so much for the support. We appreciate it so much and could not do this without you, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. What's up? It's Thursday. It's eviction night. Um, Yes. So anyway, let's talk about yesterday's super chatters before we get going here. I want to thank you all so much. Sloan Meister, Michelle Brazel, Michelle Campbell, She Sees Stars twice, Tina Gorski 9, Susie Loy, and Vajra. Thank you all so much for the support. You guys are amazing, and we couldn't do this without you either. And I see we already have Jody Cortez and Ashley Barnett super chatting today. Thank you both so much. You guys are incredible. Jody says BB finale should have a virtual audience like the NBA. I don't keep up with the NBA, but that sounds interesting. I would be curious like what that would look like. Is Sean in the chat my boyfriend? Or is that a different Sean that I'm being really awkward with right now? Anyway, let's get started. Right? When we left off yesterday, Tyler and Christmas are up on the block. And Tyler's the target. Memphis is locked in to evict him. But Cody, Nicole, and Enzo, we've seen, are kind of waffling here. Are they going to change their minds? I don't know. When we left off yesterday, they were saying they want Tyler to go, but now they're kind of like, not really sure. So, yeah. We'll see. Tyler was in the HOH room with Cody, and they're talking about how bored they are. And Tyler says, it's election day. It's time for kissing babies, putting up signs. I think he meant campaign day because the voting would be happening today, and this was yesterday, but whatever. So Tyler says, he just got done saying it was election day, and now he's like, we should play charades tonight. Like, we have to play charades because it's the last night that it's going to be 3 versus 3. No more charades. We've had enough charades. This whole season has been a charade. So Christmas comes in. They talk about playing charades later. And the funny thing is, I don't think they actually played charades last night, did they? I don't recall them playing charades. But after the, Christmas chit chats with them for a little bit, and then Christmas leaves, and Tyler says, I can't even sit in a room with anyone anymore without Christmas coming in now. He hopes that Nicole is going to notice that he's been consistent with her. Meanwhile, Christmas is now randomly hanging out with her all the time. So it kind of seems a little bit like fake on Christmas's part, right? Then all of a sudden, she's like best friends with Nicole again. I mean, they were pretty close before. There was a time when they were super close. But then things definitely went off the rail with that triple eviction. Bowie is licking the door right now, and it's very distracting. But yeah, Tyler says, I'm not trying to go overboard here with Nicole. I don't want her thinking that I'm fake, so that's why I'm not, like, hovering around her. So Tyler tells Cody, you got to talk to Nicole for me, bro. And Cody says, yep, because all week, Nicole has been telling Tyler, I'm going to do whatever Enzo and Cody want me to do because I don't want them to be mad at me. So, of course, in response, Tyler's been saying to Cody and Enzo, like, can you guys talk to Nicole for me? Like, I really need your help here. But it's all this, like, hamster wheel. It's not going anywhere because they want Tyler to go. So Tyler's saying, like, I hope Nicole's mind is not made up already. Cody says, I don't think it is. Nicole has said that she doesn't care either way because she wants both of you to go. She did say that. I'm sure we'll see that in tonight's episode. So Cody says, as long as Nicole gets nudged, I think she'll be like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll do whatever. So Tyler says, I can't go tomorrow. We would be effed if I got voted out. What? So Tyler's like, we'll see. It's going to be a crazy day. Is it? Just keep that in your back pocket for later because it's going to come up again. So a little while later, Cody and Enzo are chatting in the photo bedroom. And Enzo says, Christmas wants to talk to me again. Enough. It's enough already. So yeah, Christmas has been checking in with him in Memphis over and over again. They're sick of it. So just the bringing up Christmas wanting to talk to Enzo, Cody seems like so jealous about the other Wise Guys alliance with Christmas. He calls that the bootleg Wise Guys alliance. And that's the whole reason that he wanted Christmas to go earlier in the week before they switched to Tyler, because he wanted to get rid of that other Wise Guys alliance. He didn't want that to be a factor. But anyway, Cody asks Enzo, when did Memphis mention to you that he wants Nicole to go next week? Because Cody is not getting that same information from Memphis, so he's really concerned about it. So Enzo says, he said it like yesterday or 2 days ago. No freaking way. He's been saying that for like a while now. He's been saying that he wants all the Wise Guys in the Final Four since he created the alliance. So he's been saying it for a while. But Cody's feeling really unsure about Memphis now because Memphis has been telling him that Christmas has to go next week. So Cody's wondering, would Memphis really put Christmas up next to Nicole like he's saying he would? And Enzo says, yeah, he would. Like, Memphis would do that. I don't know. And he says, Memphis is just using Christmas. He doesn't really care about her. Ew, girl. And Enzo says, at the same time, like, yeah, he might put up Christmas and Nicole, but Memphis wants Nicole out. Or, like, he may want Nicole out. He does. Which it seems like, anyway, that's what he's saying. It blows my mind because if Memphis had the choice of getting rid of Nicole or Cody, and he got rid of Nicole, like, he deserves to lose. How do you not get rid of Cody in that situation? It's crazy. But anyway, Enzo says, if I win HOH next week and I take out Memphis, one of us is definitely going to win that last power veto because it's just going to be us against Nicole and Christmas. And then we can do what we want with it. I mean, he makes a good point, right? You should probably go for Memphis next week if you're Enzo and Cody. So then Tyler comes in and Enzo says, Nicole is still up in the air. You know, Tyler wants the progress report here, and Enzo says Nicole is still up in the air. She wants both of you out, blah, blah, blah. So Tyler says, you guys really, you need to talk to her because, like, we're running out of time here. And again, Tyler's saying, I can't go. It's going to be really effing bad. Why? Well, I mean, he's basically saying, like, Christmas and Memphis are going to go after you guys, and it's going to be 3 versus 2 instead of 4 versus 1. But he's, like, making it seem like something else could happen. I don't know. So after Tyler leaves, Cody says, Tyler keeps saying that we're effed if he leaves, but, like, we're not. All right. It all comes down to competition wins for next week. So, yeah. They go back to talking about Memphis. Cody and Enzo are talking about Memphis again. And Enzo says Memphis is just telling us both what we want to hear. And Cody is nervous that Memphis is BSing him. He says, what's the purpose of that? Why is he not telling me that he wants Nicole out if that is the case? And why would you tell Cody that? Enzo says Memphis knows that you and Nicole are tight AF. And he wants to break you guys up. But Enzo says, like, he hasn't said that he wants you out, which he has, to my knowledge, he hasn't. He's been saying, like, he wants Nicole to go next. So he's telling Cody, like, don't worry about that. He doesn't want you out. Maybe he wants Nicole out, not a big deal. It's a big deal to Cody. So then Cody says, we just can't have Christmas win this next HOH. That's, like, their worst case scenario. And Enzo says, I'm going to talk to Christmas. I'm going to make sure that if she does win, that she'll put up Cody and Nicole instead of Cody and Enzo, because they don't want to get split up. So Cody's like, okay, cool. But he's also nervous that if it is him and Nicole up on the block, what if Nicole wins the power veto and Enzo goes up as the replacement nominee? Because chances are Christmas is not going to want to put Memphis on the block as the replacement if she has a choice. So Cody says, we got to break up Christmas in Memphis, which makes it sound like maybe he's thinking about flipping this vote and getting rid of Christmas this week. So Enzo says, I know, I was thinking about doing that this week, but if Tyler stays, he's going to make it to the final two. Like, he could definitely win his way to the final two. And Enzo says, if that's the case, who's going to beat Tyler in the end? If he escapes like a third time, who's not going to vote for him? So then Tyler comes in to start packing up his stuff. Conversation over. All right. So then Christmas checks in with Enzo in the key bedroom. And he's asking her, like, how you feeling? And she says, I feel good. She has Enzo and Memphis, the wise guys, voting for her to stay this week. And she says, I talked to Nicole. I don't really know where she stands, but I didn't want to press her too much, because things are really weird between them since the triple eviction. And she figures if I have Enzo and Memphis's votes, then I don't really need Nicole's. That would just be like a nice little extra. So Christmas then basically asks Enzo to consider taking her to the final two if he wins the final HOH, but the feed's cut out for a few minutes after that, so we missed what Enzo's response was. I'm sure he was BSing her and being like, oh yeah, of course, we're going to the end, that's it. So when the feeds come back, Christmas is saying she effing loves Nicole, but she is effing good at this game. So Enzo says, yeah, I kept Nicole during the triple eviction because she's the target. We can hide behind her. Nicole is linked up with Cody, so those are targets that we can hide behind. That's it. I feel like it's a little late in the game to be keeping around big targets for you to hide behind. I'm sure that's just partially just an excuse that Enzo is feeding her, but I don't know. I also feel like that's kind of what he was actually doing because he wants to make sure that Cody would be going up on the block with Nicole and not with him. So yeah, again, he's trying to make sure that Christmas will nominate Cody and Nicole. So there's a few things going on with that part of the conversation. So then Christmas says, Nicole's been telling me that you and Cody are tight and that she's on the outs. So it sounds like Nicole's doing the same thing that Enzo's doing. Nobody wants to be associated closely with Cody because he's such a big target at this point. They don't want to go up against him on the block. So Enzo is pushing, no, Cody and Nicole are tight. They're a big target together. We see what she's doing. Yeah, because she's doing the same thing as Enzo. Okay, so then Christmas says, if me, you, or Memphis win the next HOH, the same two people will go up on the block, meaning Nicole and Cody. But that's not true because there's Enzo is not going to put up Nicole and Cody. Memphis, I honestly don't know because he's been saying that he would put up Christmas and Nicole, but if he does that, that's really dumb. That's really, really dumb. Yeah, so Christmas says the only thing that will throw a wrench in our plan next week, and Enzo completes the thought and says, if Cody wins the power veto. So it seems like Christmas is basically admitting to Enzo that she wants Cody out next and not Nicole, which again, I think is a smarter move, but they are really feeling like Nicole's not going to be a factor in competition, so she is assuming that either she, Enzo, or Memphis will win the next HOH competition. She says Nicole hasn't won anything yet, and I want to keep it that way. Oh, okay. So then they talk about how they don't want to get cut at the final three again because if you guys look back at their first seasons, Enzo and Christmas were both third place. They both got cut right at the end, so they do not want to relive that. And Enzo says, you just can't go to the final three with them two, meaning Nicole and Cody. He says it's not smart. I don't want no part of that. Oh, really? Yeah, logically, you wouldn't want to go to the end with Nicole and Cody. But, like, is he gonna do that? I don't know. I could totally see that happening, and I could totally see Enzo getting cut again at the final 3, for sure. I think he knows that it's a bad idea, but I don't know if he has the guts to take one of them out. So later, Nicole was talking to the cameras in the storage room, and she says, "It makes more sense for me for Tyler to stay, and it has since the beginning, I think." She says, "Suddenly, I feel different because there's no way that Memphis wants to go to the final 3 with Cody and Enzo, right?" Huh? That's like a really weird thing to say when you're not Cody or Enzo. But I'm sure there's like ulterior motives here because she's then thinking like, um, Memphis is not going to be putting Christmas up on the block. I think that's what she's saying when she says that he's not going to want to go to the end with Enzo and Cody. So Enzo comes in and Nicole says, "I'm having second thoughts about the vote." And Nicole says, "It's crazy how close Memphis and Christmas are. They're like a little married couple." I would agree. They're like super, super close. So Nicole says, "Are we making a mistake? Because there's no way that Memphis really wants to go to the final 3 with you and Cody." Again, really weird way to say, weird point to make if you're not one of those two, but sure. So Enzo says, "Hell no, like Memphis does not want to go to the end with the 2 of us." So Nicole says, "There's no way that Memphis would go after Christmas. He's going to put up me and Cody, and you will be the replacement nominee if the veto is used." So Enzo's like, "Yeah, I thought of that too." So then Enzo's like, "But if we get rid of Christmas and Tyler sticks around and teams up with Memphis, we're effing done, yo." Enzo feels like they would have a better chance of winning competitions against Christmas than against Tyler. And I would agree with that. Like, Tyler is a much better competitor than Christmas. But Enzo and Nicole agree they're going to talk things over with Cody and make a final decision with him. But then they're also saying they're on the same page for next week about wanting Memphis out, which, yeah, that's definitely the better choice. Okay, so then Cody and Enzo are in the HOH room. This conversation, I guess, started like before the feeds came. The feeds were on Stars for a little bit, and when the feeds came back, Enzo's like, "Enough, come on, yo." Enough. So Enzo says, "We just can't have Christmas win HOH next week." And again, he's saying, "But if she does," Enzo feels like he can convince Christmas to backdoor Memphis. No freaking way. I mean, okay, the wording is off here because there is a scenario that, say, Christmas puts Cody and Nicole up on the block. Enzo wins the power veto and saves Cody. Memphis would have to go up as a replacement nominee. He would be the only eligible person to go up on the block. And then, yeah, they would have the votes to get rid of him. It would be Enzo and Cody voting. They could just vote him out. So it is possible, but it wouldn't be like a backdoor situation. So Cody says, even if she does win HOH, we have in our back pocket to send home Nicole over me. Because I guess he's assuming that Memphis would keep him over Nicole. And this is a really weird situation because I feel like that would be really dumb of Memphis. Again, like if he had the opportunity to take out Cody or Nicole, wouldn't the logical choice be to take out Cody? But at the same time, from what I've heard Memphis say, I almost feel like he would just vote out Nicole and keep Cody around. So it's just crazy to me. But you never, like, Christmas could possibly convince Memphis, like, "Hello, we need to be taking out Cody." So I'm not really sure what Memphis would do in that situation. So then Cody and Enzo are going through scenarios to try and figure out who to take out this week. And Enzo says, "You know what? Tyler is the better player. He's got to go this week. And then next week, we get rid of Memphis." All right. So Cody agrees. Okay, yeah, Tyler's got to go. He'll say anything to stay. I mean, he tried to He did tell Enzo all about the committee, even though Enzo already knew. He tried to tell Enzo that Cody was going to put him up on the block, which was not true. But Cody's worried that Tyler would possibly take a shot at him if he wins HOH, so he can't have that. So then Nicole joins them after a little bit, and she's asking, what is the plan? Are we telling Tyler about the vote, or are we going to blindside him? So they end up deciding that Nicole should tell Tyler on Thursday that she's voting him out. Just tell him, like, you're too big of a threat. I can't go up against you, blah, blah, blah. Then Enzo can go to Tyler and say, like, oh, I have to go with the house. Like, the votes aren't there to keep you, so sorry. Okay. So Cody says to Nicole and Enzo, I'm obviously the biggest target out of us three, and I can't even compete in this next HOH. So he's putting a lot of pressure on them, pushing that Nicole or Enzo have to win this next HOH competition for him. So Nicole's like, I've been studying really hard. You're putting so much pressure on me. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting HOH competition tonight. But then they discuss what Memphis would do if he wins the next HOH. And Nicole says, I think you guys are silly for thinking that Memphis would put Christmas up on the block. And Nicole says, I know that he would put me up, but I don't know who would be going up next to me. She says, I hope it would be Christmas, but I just think that would be insane. Nicole says he would not put Christmas up, but it doesn't matter because we're going to win HOH. We'll see. So yeah, Nicole leaves, and I feel like it would be crazy for Memphis to put Christmas up on the block, but Memphis is kind of crazy. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what he would do. So then Cody says, after Nicole leaves, Cody says, Memphis would put Christmas up on the block 100%. He says, I don't doubt that at all. If Memphis has a brain, he would have to target Cody next week. Oh my God. So Enzo seems unsure about the whole situation. He's like, yeah, like, I don't doubt it, but who knows what the F would happen? Sounds like you kind of doubt it. So Cody says, whoa, if you don't think that Memphis would put Christmas up next week, then we should just send Christmas out now. We got to break that up. We got to split up those two. So Enzo says, Memphis told me that he would put up Christmas and Nicole. So if he wins HOH, like, we'll find out if he's BSing. That's a hell of a way to find out. So Cody says, I just don't see Memphis putting either of us up as one of the initial nominees. Like, maybe if somebody wins power veto, he has to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen initially. Okay. I can't even believe that Cody doesn't think that it's a possibility. What? So basically, Cody says that Memphis is going to be screwed if he burns one of them because the other one will go after him and he's not going to make it to the end. So Enzo is thinking say he does put up Christmas and Nicole. He's saying if one of them win the power veto, Memphis will probably take the shot at one of us. You think? Okay. But then they go back to this week's vote and they agree Tyler's got to go. He's just too dangerous to keep around. Okay, so then last night, Tyler checks in with Enzo in the HOH room. This is where it gets freaking weird, you guys. Tyler asks, what's everybody saying about the vote? And Enzo says, Nicole's still saying she doesn't know what she wants to do, yo. No, she's not. But Enzo says, I'm still trying to finesse it. I'm still trying to massage it so that she doesn't realize that we're close. I got to be really careful about this. In reality, Enzo's been the one pushing that Tyler has to go. Whenever Cody or Nicole bring up, like, I don't know, like, should we get rid of Christmas instead? Enzo's always the one that's like, no, we need to get rid of Tyler because he is the bigger threat in competitions. So Tyler says it's all up to Cody right now because if Cody goes and tells Nicole what he wants, she said that she would do it. So Enzo says, if Cody wanted you to stay, he would have already talked to Nicole. True. So Tyler says, well, tomorrow's going to be crazier than you think, man. He says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying. What? So, okay. I don't know if this is like some sort of last-ditch effort to try and like freak Enzo out. Because remember, Tyler had that plan that he was mulling over. I believe he was planning on doing this to Memphis, though, and basically telling Memphis, like, hey, the votes are flipping and they didn't want you to know. But, you know, I'm going to be staying, so you should keep me. It seems like he's kind of switched that around now, and he's doing this to Enzo, and it's kind of like making it seem like he knows about a twist or he has a power or something without saying that, because if you lie about that, that's technically using production as a strategy, and they usually call you into the diary room, and then you have to go back and like apologize to everyone and say that you don't have a power. So that's embarrassing. But yeah, he's basically implying that without saying it so he can get away with it. So Enzo says, I effing hope you stay. That's a lie. And Enzo says, if you don't stay, I'm done. So Tyler says, I hope my eviction speech will sway Nicole. That also makes me think that he's just bluffing with this whole like I'm staying thing, because he's still saying like I'm gonna try and flip Nicole with my speech. So I'm really curious what he's gonna be pulling out in his speech besides like plugging Angela's cookbook. So Tyler keeps saying that he's staying and tomorrow's gonna be crazy. Why? But he tells Enzo, you have to vote for me to stay. Which again, it's kind of poking some holes in that, you know, I have a power or I know what's coming kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, maybe he's just trying to like manifest him saying, like, I don't know. But Tyler is again also telling Enzo, you can't go to the end with Cody because nobody can beat Cody in the final two. And Tyler's telling Enzo, you got to make a big move and take Cody out to win over the jury. And I agree. If Enzo ended up taking Cody out and cutting him before the end, that would be like the game-winning move for him. So Tyler says, if I stay, you and I can go to the final three with Nicole, and then we'll take her out. He says, it's going to happen, man. I'm staying. Is it, though? I feel like he's just kind of grasping at straws here, trying to like make anything that he can happen. So later, Nicole was done with Have-Nots at midnight, and I think that's it for Have-Nots for the season. Yeah, so Christmas also said happy birthday to her son at midnight, and Memphis even got out of bed to celebrate with everybody. Wild. Okay, so today, the feeds were down all damn day, which it almost makes it seem like something is going down tonight, because they've pre-taped a lot of shows already this season. And, like, I remember when they did the triple, the feeds were down the whole entire day. But I feel like the other episodes that they pre-taped, we still got a little something in the morning. So it's kind of weird that we didn't have any feeds today. I mean, maybe they're just messing with us. I don't know. But it's just really strange that we didn't get anything. But I feel like if there was a twist, like, how many times have they had a twist and they didn't tell us about it beforehand to, like, hype it up? Really? Like I feel like that doesn't happen. So I feel like that doesn't happen. So I do believe that Tyler is just trying to like fool people. But I don't think it's gonna work. Hi! Hi, baby. Hello, hello.
Hello, sis.
Hi, baby.
Hello, America.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But I want to thank all of our super chatters for your support today. You guys are amazing. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Got a couple of quizzies.
We got some questions here. Okay, so Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Ashley Barnett, thank you so much. Kennedy Miller, thank you so much. Mr. Roybot, thank you so much. Debbie, I always mess this up. Brujgoda, thank you so much, Debbie. And Debbie asked, as of today, who do you want / think will win? Okay, who do I want to win? I would say Enzo if he pulls off a big move towards the end. If he goes to the end with Cody,
no way.
Enough. That's it.
I'd rather see Christmas win.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I've said before, like, I kind of want Nicole to win just because that's what we deserve this season. That would just make sense for this season.
Why the hell not?
Yeah, but out of like who I think deserves it the most, I would probably say like Cody. But it's tough because like all the preseason stuff, like it just seems wrong. Yeah, I don't know. But I think Cody has a really good shot at winning. I would say Cody or Enzo probably would be the highest chances of winning. But thank you so much for your question and for the support. OTEV is always a winner.
What about the robot?
The robot. Zingbot?
Yeah.
Oh, Zingbot is also always a winner, except I feel like everybody shits on Zingbot every year saying that the Zings aren't good enough.
They're not.
All right. Vajrath, thank you so much for the support. And Vajrath has a question. Have you or anyone in your family ever experienced something you would... This is an interesting question. have you ever experienced something that you would consider supernatural or at least something you can't logically explain? So like thank you. I could have sworn one time that my grandma who had passed away visited me. I don't know. I might have just been sleep paralysis. I don't know, but it was a very strange experience. It was in college. But yeah, it's possible. I don't know. Well, how about you?
Yeah, I got some weird stuff.
Was this at your old job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, Bowie! Mom's old job, there was like possibly a ghost living in the house that she worked at.
Yeah.
It's possible. Bowie, your nails are so sharp.
Was murdered.
I don't like to talk about it too much because, like, just in case there are ghosts, I don't want him to, like, come here.
I don't want it to be attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know. But thank you for your question, and thank you for the support. We'll have to talk about that more at some point. Travel K, thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. She just got out of the hospital. Oh, my God. Your updates were the highlight of my day. Feeling much better now. I'm so sorry that you were in the hospital, but I'm glad that you're feeling better. I hope you continue to get better. We will be thinking of you. Oh my goodness. I hope, well, you said you're okay now, so
much better.
Yeah, good. We're very glad to hear that you're doing much better now. And thank you again so much. Dawn MH302, thank you so much. And M Murray COJ, thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We actually had some things to talk about, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He said, I want to jump rope.
All right. Well, I'm really thirsty, so I need to go. But thank you guys so much for being here. And we'll see you later for the
later tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
So until then, much love.
Okay.